The Coleman Lantern 17B has been one of the top-selling travel trailers for the last few years, and for good reason. It was affordable, it was lightweight, and it just had the amenities that people wanted. Well, Coleman saw this, but they saw an opportunity to do something a little bit different, and that is to make it even lighter, have better construction, and a little bit higher-end amenities, but keeping the floor plan and the heart of it the same, which is exactly what they have done here in the 2025 Coleman Light 17BX. So let's take a look at some of the things they've done. I mean, first off, just kind of overarching, right? You have different exterior, some upgrades out there as well. You have upgraded countertops, a roof mount AC in here, just to name a few things that are just very noticeable, kind of some big upgrades that they have done. We kind of look at the kitchen, right? Kind of as I mentioned, same overall setup, but they have thermal-formed countertops on here, which allow you to undermount the sink. They've upgraded to a pull-out high-rise faucet here, which is a lot nicer for not just washing dishes, but really just using it in general, right? I use my pull-out faucet at home a lot more than I ever thought I would. And it's going to be the same thing here in your RV. They've also upgraded the cooktop. Rather than having your standard raised two burner, they went with a little bit more expensive flush mount with the glass cover just to give you some extra prep space. Because in these smaller RVs, that's just something that is going to be lacking. You just can't have a lot of countertop space. This helps make up for that to some extent. You also see a window there, so it lets in some natural lights. Nice tall window too, so you get a great view to the outside. They added a little cubby hole. So, whether you want to put spices in there or if you have like a paper towel roll you want to set on the side, you might be able to sneak it in there. Just some good additional storage. Speaking of storage, right up top, you can see that instead of having like top opening doors, they went with side opening. There is no stile in the center, so all this is nice open storage. And then underneath, take a look at this. Underneath the sink, you have so much space for a trash can in there, plus room for pots and pans. Love that. They kept the bottom nice and open. They did that because in the initial iterations of the 17B, they had a panel there, and most people were making modifications, right? They were removing that panel and leaving it open. So they said, well, if everyone's doing that, let's just do it straight from the factory. Same thing with the side opening doors. So many people changed the storage up top that they tried to maximize that storage. They're paying attention to what people are doing, and they're instituting those changes so people don't have to make them. And take a look at the size of these drawers. These are big drawers for such a small camper. Love, love, love that they've done it. Also has a magnetic catch on there, so it's nice and easy to use. Microwave right up top here. They kind of changed the stack out this year for 2025. Same thing on the 17B, not just the BX. We have the microwave up top, storage then in the middle so you can fully access the back of this, which is awesome. You have your 12-volt fridge right down underneath. You're going to see this is attached here, so it's not wobbling around in there like we've seen in the past, but 3.3 cubic foot, 12-volt compressor-driven fridge. Underneath that is going to be the furnace. That's a direct vent furnace, but folks, in a camper this size, trust me, that will do all you need to keep it warm. To keep things cool, take a look at that roof mount AC. I know this is a big complaint a lot of people had was the side mount, not just because of looks, but also because when it would drain, a lot of times it would, kind of drain down the side of the RV and you'd have to constantly clean it. This helps eliminate that. And then, of course, you have the gutter spout so it doesn't go down on the RV as the condensate rolls off the roof. So definitely love having a roof AC. That is a huge upgrade. Now, at its core, of course, this camper is meant to be a family RV. So right in the back here are your bunks. Now, these have a 300-pound weight capacity, which I really like, because whether you have a kid or an adult like myself, people are still able to sleep in these. Now, as someone who is 6 foot tall, if I sneak in here, you can see that I can actually still sleep, right? This is not bad. Like, yes, I kind of max it out, but the fact I can do it is great. There's also going to be a light in here, USB port, as well as a window. So, it gives you a lot of flexibility, whether, again, you have kids or if you just want a weekend with friends, you have a place that they can sleep. Now, right next to that's going to be the dinette. This is obviously where you're going to sit, play games, do all that, but this also drops down into another spot to sleep. As an adult, it'll be very tight. But the great thing about this is it's perfect for another kiddo if, your kids want to bring friends, cousins, or something like that. But also, if you have a small one, this is an excellent spot to put a pack and play, right? You can drop the table down, remove the cushions, put a pack and play up there, have the kiddo in there, as long as they're not crawling out of a pack and play. Please make sure they're safe. We don't want them to fall. But if they're little, there's no chance of them coming out. that's an excellent spot. That way you can still get up in the middle of the night and be able to access the bathroom. You also see a window here for some natural light, plus up top is a nice big additional storage. And again, you'll see no style here. So this is a perfect spot, in my opinion, to put board games. Again, big fan of board games while I'm camping. That is a great storage for them. Then we get up to the front. Now, this is going to be a 60 by 74 RV queen size bed. What does all that mean? Essentially, it means it's going to be a queen size mattress that is 6 inches shorter than residential. Now, they do that for a few different reasons. The main one being so you can come in the door and actually be able to walk through here, right? Otherwise, it's going to be here and it's kind of in the way. The other reason is to give you a little bit of storage right here over to the side. But again, the fact that, it's big enough for 2 people is fantastic. And if you take a look right underneath here, you will also see that it has a big foot locker. So you have great additional storage, whether that's for clothes or other large items you want to be able to store down there. It gives you the space to do it. And as I mentioned, you do get the nightstand here. There is an outlet that is, again, prepped for an inverter as well as USB ports. Plus, you have some hanging storage right up top here and the shelf going all the way kind of across the front. A couple things I do want to mention. One is the fact that the comforter itself right here does not come with the RV. I threw this on here just so you didn't have to look at that because it's, I don't know, not very pretty. But I do just want to point that out. The other thing is the fact that if you want a TV, there is a spot to mount it right here. The connections for that are right up top. And again, this outlet is going to be inverted. So if you want to be able to install that inverter and operate the TV kind of while you're off grid, that gives you the capability to do it. If you have a swing arm mount, which you should, no matter where you're at in the RV, you can have a good angle to it. Now let's talk about the bathroom here in the back. One thing I do want to point out, and there's going to be a few, but one of them, look how much space I have here on the toilet, right? Foot flush lever toilet, I have great leg room, excellent shoulder space here as well. A couple things I want to mention over here. One is the fact there is a robe hook or towel, kind of towel hook there. You also have an electrical outlet in here, and this one has a tankless water heater, which that means it's going to be on demand and essentially near limitless hot water. Of course, there's a vent fan in here, but my favorite part about the bathroom is this. When I step into the shower, it's 6 foot tall. I can stand up in here. Thanks to Skylight, I could probably be 6'1" to be able to stand in here. That is something you just don't see very often. As far as the shower itself, if I turn sideways, I'm just not going to be able to, right? I mean, I'm fairly broad in the shoulders here, but there's just not enough space for me to turn. So what I'd have to do is kind of shower like this. But the fact it comes with a door rather than a curtain is a huge plus. It's going to reduce a lot of cleanup. Of course, you have the hand wand here. So standing like this isn't going to be a problem. It'll still be very doable. All right, let's take a look at the outside of the 2025 Coleman Light 17BX. Again, we're going to have some really nice upgrades here over that 17B. One of them being the fact that it comes with a powered tongue jack, just making it a whole heck of a lot easier to connect and disconnect from your tow vehicle. Behind that, you'll see your 20-pound propane tank, rails here for your battery, and if you take a look right down underneath, you will see that this one has that solar prep. So if you have like a briefcase style solar that you've already purchased, you can just set that up nice and easily. But again, this one is also solar flex ready. So if you want roof mount solar, you can install that too. Plus, as we talked about inside, you can have that inverter installed on here as well. Now, the other thing I want to mention is going to be just the overall construction of the unit, because that's going to be a big piece of not just the whole story of the Coleman Light, but also how they were able to get the weight of it down a little bit lower. Part of that is going to be the frame itself. Rather than using a wood frame, behind here is going to be aluminum framing, and that's going to be on all 4 walls. That's something we don't see very often, especially at this price point. A lot of times, right, you just still have that wood frame, especially like in the front wall. The fact that they went aluminum all the way around really is a good testament to the build quality of this unit. You also see that you have a smooth aluminum front right up on the front here, as well as fiberglass all the way around, which again is not only more aesthetically pleasing than what you would have with the aluminum, but it also just cleans a whole heck of a lot easier too. You don't have to worry about denting it if a bike or something rubs up against it. As we kind of drop down below, we'll get into that pass-through storage. The pass-through storage is a little bit larger than what you'd normally find on the 17B as well, which is really nice. And you'll see that it has an upgraded catch. And, sometimes it's the small things for me, right? You see you have a magnetic catch right here. Love that. That's going to be a big addition. You will also see right up top the fact that you have power awning. So touch the button to roll that out. Of course, same thing to go back in, LED light strip, and it's a larger awning than what you would normally get on the 17B. You can also see the larger grab handle on here, so you have good control coming in or out of the RV, and the door itself is going to be that upgraded tempered glass door. Not only does this look fantastic, but I also really love the fact that it has a window built in. It's tinted, so during the day, you can't even tell that there's a window there at all, and it is also going to be thin shade ready. So if you want to install that, so you can close it off for a little bit of privacy. That's something that is also nice and easy to do. You'll see right outside here is electrical outlets for obvious reasons, but again, this one is going to be prepped for that inverter, which is fantastic. Right down underneath are the upgraded wheels here on the 17BX. Now, as we come around to the back, there's a few things I want to point out. One of them is the fact that this one does have backup camera prep. So if you want to have that installed to be able to get a little extra visibility when you're backing up, that makes it a lot easier to do so. A few things that are missing here. One of them is going to be a ladder or ladder prep, and that's because this one is not a fully walkable roof. So if you need to access anything up there, you will have to have a separate ladder to do so. You will also see that this one does not have a bumper. So if you planned on storing your sewer hose in there, yeah, you're not going to be able to do that. But that's not going to be an issue whatsoever, because right in front of the tire is a place where you can go ahead and store that hose. They did think about that in advance. You also see the on-demand water heaters located right back here. This is a big one. This one has a black tank flush. That's one of those features that a lot of people just overlook, but man, oh man, is it convenient. Rather than sticking a hose down your toilet to wash out your black tank, you hook it up right here, has sprayers built in, it does the rest for you. Just make sure your black tank valve right down below is open. But that is just an awesome feature to have. Speaking of termination, you can see that there, both black and gray tank valves right in the back. Your water connections will be back here, both city water as well as fresh tank. Plus, you can also see that you have your 30-amp power cord right there. I'm telling you, folks, if you're looking for something to be able to get into RVing with the family, you want something that's going to be a little bit upgraded, right? You want that roof mount AC. You want the nicer countertops. You want, a little bit better construction, still be super lightweight. This one right here is an excellent option. For price and availability, if you're interested, there is a link in the description. Just click on that and it will show you. As always, I'm Ian Baker. Thanks again for watching. Until next time, we'll see you.